of love. Ooh, 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 baby. Oh, baby. Throw yourself on the mercy of love. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Time and conflict, see, they can work together, yeah. Call me a fool, but I wake up and I think of you. See, I know that you do still love me so. That's why I say that I'll always love you forever and never and never, yeah, baby. Oh, yeah, baby. Throw yourself on the mercy of love. Ooh, 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 baby. Love, y'all. And anger, see, that ain't nothing but passion, yeah. Don't be a fool and leave me because of things I do. Yeah, see, I know that you do still love me so. That's why I say that I'll always love you forever and never and ever, yeah, baby. The mercy, mercy, the mercy. Throw yourself on the mercy. Oh, baby, I said mercy on me. Oh, yeah. You don't know what you do to me, girl. Mercy of love, baby. I was a fool, but I love. I said I love. I love, I love, I love, I love, I love, I love you, baby. Mercy, ooh, mercy of love, yeah.
All right. Welcome, 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 guys. You are tuned in to the Nikhol B. Jackson Show, and I am Nikhol B. Jackson, your host for tonight. Guys, let's give it up again for Homer Mack and the Mercy of Love. Phenomenal. Have you ever wondered about fresh starts and new beginnings? As you all know, that's our theme. That's been our theme here on this show, the month of June. And tonight we're wrapping up the theme with a show on fresh starts and new beginnings from a financial perspective. And we've got some awesome guests tonight. And later on in the show, we're going to be joined by our former NFL All-Pro star who's going to talk to us a little bit about some of the awesome things that he's got going on in his new fresh starts and new beginnings as well. And I want to bring two of the awesome guests to the stage that are going to be helping us with the fresh starts in our finances. First up tonight, we've got Ted Jackson, a financial strategist and guru, and we have Chinyere Norman, and another financial strategist joining us here tonight. Let's welcome them to the show. Yes.
Thank you.
You can clap. You can clap. Yes, we're talking about money, talking about fresh starts and new beginnings, and I want to start off a little bit, Ted, with you. I want to kind of talk about the basics. And before we get into some of the questions tonight about finances, give us a little bit about your background and how you got started in the financial realm, and what's the motivation and passion behind doing this work.
All right, so like she said, my name is Ted Jackson. I originally started in education maybe about 13 years ago. Born in Alabama, I'm a Georgia boy, though I've been here since about 83, so I got here when I was about 8 or 9 years old. I'm a service person. That kind of feeds into what you're saying on why I do what I do, but I went to school to be a teacher. Did that. I worked in Fulton County, South Fulton County. I'm a product of South Fulton County. And after I did that for 11 years, I went into counseling. It was a way for me to actually talk to kids and actually get into their mind and understand why they do some of the things they do. And for what people really don't know about kids, if you talk to them outside the classroom, that's when you can really get to know them. I didn't know that until I became a coach. I was coaching basketball, track, things of that nature, and kids opened up to me. The same kids I had in my class who wouldn't listen to nothing I was saying, but once I got to the point where I was able to relate to them about something outside of the classroom, they opened up a lot better. And once I realized that, I went into counseling because I knew then I could reach the kids.
Okay.
So fast forward, my brother talked to me one day about making some extra money, and who doesn't want to make a little extra money?
Now, before that, though, you had done some work in the financial realm even before getting into the educational piece.
True. Before I graduated college, I went back home for a little bit, and I actually worked at SunTrust Bank. I was a financial service representative. I worked inside one of the Publix locations right off of Highway 85 in Riverdale. So what I did there, we opened up accounts for new customers coming in, whether it was a money market, whether it was a checking, whether it's a savings account. We did loans, we did equity lines, and we had to meet a certain amount of quota of number of people that came in versus the number of loans and things, whatever that we actually did.
Okay.
So I had a little bit of introduction of money, just a little bit, but it was that safe money, and I'll talk a little bit about that safe money a little bit later.
Safe money.
Safe money, yeah. We don't really necessarily like the safe money, but we'll go there another time.
And so now, full circle, we are
Working at Jackson & Jackson Financial, Jackson & Consulting, where I deal with finances with individuals, companies, churches, anyone or as an organization where they need to understand how to deal with finances. Pretty much, you sit down and you map out your future.
Okay. So again, coming full circle, but still within the realms of serving. And so, Ms. Norman, let's go to you and get your background and what the mission and motivation is behind you doing this work.
Okay, thank you. First off, for being here. This is a very special setting because we're talking about wellness.
Yes.
And many times people don't pull finances into wellness, which we all know, especially you.
Oh, yes.
You,
Yes.
That's a big part of it. So I got involved in this industry in 2006, but my family is very much committed. I was born into a family that's really committed to helping the community, helping other people. So my background was actually political science, thought I wanted to be in politics and thought I wanted to be in law. Okay. But when I got introduced to this industry, I realized that I could help people outside of law or fighting for people's rights in politics. Is when you sit knee to knee with someone or at the table with them, you really get to find out what's bothering them. Most times it's got something to do with a lack of financial literacy. So that's something that touches us all. So it really fulfills me as far as my life mission with helping other people and seeing people fulfill their dreams.
Definitely. And I, again, appreciate both of you being here tonight. And Ms. Norman, you mentioned the fact that your finances have a lot to do with wellness. And that is a piece that we oftentimes miss. Here on our show, we do try to look at all the different life experiences that we have and talk about the impact that they have on our overall wellness, physical wellness, mental health, emotional and spiritual. And as a counselor, I see it all the time when I'm working with couples. People think that the number one cause of divorce is infidelity or other issues, but it's money.
Absolutely.
Couples are getting divorced even more rapidly in this era because of financial issues. And so I tell people all the time, it takes two healthy, happy individuals to make a happy, healthy marriage or relationship. And financial wealth and health is important, and having that literacy is key. And so that leads me to my first question for you, Ted, is talking about debt. So we want fresh starts. We want new beginnings. We want to know how to start over. But if we are dealing with debt, is there really financial freedom? Can there be financial freedom?
I guess that's a double-sided sword. Can. Yeah, you can.
Okay.
But you have to understand what type of debt you have. There's good debt, there's bad debt.
Good debt and bad debt.
Yeah,
Okay.
and we're not going too far into that, but there's good debt and there's bad debt. But also realize what's coming into your home and what's going out of your home as far as your finances. You can't pay off your debt if you don't have the amount of money that's left over in order for you to do it. So you're going to perpetually live in that debt. So you have to have a little excess income. But once you do have some income, you're able to pay some debt off. Whatever you pay off, you take that amount and you put it towards something else.
To the next thing on your list.
Thing in the list. You don't go out and start spending because you feel like I got a little bit more to save, a little bit more to spend. I can go out and enjoy.
I paid off this bill. Now I got some extra cash.
So now you have a little bit more discipline in your life.
Okay.
And you decide to take whatever you were spending on that debt.
Okay.
And you put it towards the other one. And once you pay that off, then you take a little bit more here, put it there. And as you go along, you're paying off that debt. And then you're able to start saving. Because I think everyone can save. It's just the fact of figuring out at what point you're going to be able to start.
And that leads me to my next question. And so I'm type A. So I like to have a list. I need to be able to check stuff off. I don't know, it's like an addiction. It gives me an adrenaline rush when I check stuff off on my list and I'm like excited to move on to the next thing. So for people like me, or maybe even not like me, but who need or desire some type of outline or structure on how to go about doing it, how do they figure that out? You know, if I have all this debt, how do I know what I need to start working on first so that I can have some money to pay down the debt?
I'll start on that first.
Nope. Sure.
Okay. So actually start with a budget. Not a budget, but actually a monthly cash flow. Figure out what you're actually spending your money on. The average person, they may say they've worked on a budget, but until you actually sit down at the table and look at everything that actually goes out versus what comes in, you really don't know what you're spending your money on. So once you've got that figured out, you'll know what you can start cutting out. Whether it's you're eating out 2 times a week and you're spending $20 or $40 a week, well, that's actually, $80 to $100 a month that you could actually have extra cash rather than you putting it somewhere where you know it's frivolous spending. So you have to start looking at that type of thing. And then the size of the debts that you're actually trying to pay off.
Okay.
The interest rate that's on them. Because if the interest rate is high, you may want to clear off something that's large and has a high interest rate because you're actually just killing yourself as far as the years go. With interest and not paying that off. So it's all in looking at what you have coming in and out and then strategically paying it off. But at the first start, look at it and seriously look at it and not just say I got my rent, my car. Look at lawn care. Look at your hair. Look at what you pay on your insurance. Look at everything that you have coming in and out.
So, Ms. Norman, again, going back to someone whose structure needs a little bit more direction, do you advise like keeping all of your receipts and then using that to kind of have a total of those simple things, like you said, going into the gas station and getting a soda pop or tea? If you're just not quite sure how much you spend on those small pieces, is something like that, an activity like that, keeping an envelope or something to put that stuff in, good?
Well, just to bring us up to speed as to where we are right now, holding on to receipts can get quite cumbersome.
Okay.
I think what's more important is to make sure you have access to your bank account or your bank accounts.
Your statements.
You should definitely have different bank accounts for different things. Some of us who are on the run a lot, we use that debit card so much. You can keep receipts, and that's good because even though I just said that, it's something automatic for me. I keep them, but I also look at that account daily. So I know where my money is going. I don't have to pick up those receipts. But the other thing is, to his point, just looking at it and make sure you're looking at everything. You may not want to have everything coming out of one account.
Ooh. Now let's talk about that.
Yeah.
So you have different situations in different households. Sometimes if it's a couple, they each might have their own individual account and then have a home account. So, of course, we can't say do this, do that, don't do that because different strokes for different folks and different things work.
Right.
But what would you suggest if you say don't have everything or maybe not have everything coming out of one account? What's the solution to that?
Okay, and this is from the perspective of someone who is single, so it's a lot easier for me.
Okay.
But as far as dealing with my clients, some are single, some are married, and what I suggest, first of all, you all are still individuals. Even though you're in a joint relationship, you're individual in the sense that you have different schedules and different spending habits. Sometimes, if you haven't really melded that, and I know that can be tough for folks. So it may be that those accounts that you have separate, that you have a side account off of that. The home account, when you start to, and you can correct me on this, but the home account, the one that's for the both of you, generally speaking, when I see my clients, that's the account that the mortgage comes out of. The more the bills that have to be paid
every month. It's
right,
like your livelihood.
Right. So however a couple decides to do it, you may not want to have that debit card that you swipe all day long for everything. You definitely don't want that linked to that particular account where the mortgage is coming out. So whether those are two separate accounts or another,
however it works.
yeah, just make sure you separate from the large important bills to those frivolous things, and that's the one where you'll begin to see all of my money is going away because of all this frivolous spending.
Gotcha. Very interesting, very interesting. So we're going to transition over to our mind, body, and spirit segment. And when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more in detail about some other things that you guys do as financial strategists and financial analysis and what that looks like for people who might need that. So guys, we've come to the portion of the show where it's our mind, body, and spirit. And you all know, again, it's about being wealthy and healthy here on the show. And LB, take it away.
It's all about being healthy and wealthy. Welcome to the Mind, Body, and Spirit segment. I am Lakia LB Brandenburg. And you know we like to bring you all the highlights where you can incorporate wellness in your everyday life. Tonight, I am super excited because we're talking about, I guess, the spirit and the mind. We have a very special guest with us tonight. He's going to teach us about the benefits of meditation and how he used mindful meditation, as he calls it, to gain clarity and to seek direction to start his new beginning. We're talking about fresh starts and new beginnings. Let me give you a little background about him. He not only is an international fitness expert, his sports success and NCAA record holding. He is here today to tell us about his new journey with being an author. He is an author, y'all, of a children's book entitled Danny Yukon and the Secrets of the Amazing Lamp. Please help me welcome the former NFL running back for the Baltimore Ravens. It's the Prince of Fitness himself, Mr. PJ Daniels. Welcome to the show, sir. So happy to have you. Okay, PJ, tell us a little bit about yourself before we get into this transition of your new beginning.
Okay, well, I'm a native of Houston, Texas.
Houston's in the house.
Atlanta is my stomping ground, so I graduated from Georgia Tech.
Okay.
I played at Georgia Tech, and I was drafted to the Baltimore Ravens in 2006.
All right.
And after my beautiful journey in the NFL, I took a sabbatical, and I went searching for myself. And I found myself, and now I've transitioned into what I am currently today. Wow. An author, international fitness instructor, international motivational speaker.
Absolutely.
Yes, and I also teach mindfulness and meditation as well.
Okay, so mindfulness and meditation, let's get here. This is all about mind, body, and spirit. How did you get to this fitness international meditation expert? How did you get to that point?
Well, let me start off by saying a former mentor of mine, he told me two things. He said, P, it's just two things in life. And he said, find something that you love doing. And he said, let's just be honest. Just get paid the most money at doing it.
That wasn't football?
No, that wasn't football. That was outside of football.
Okay.
And once he told me that, those two things, they stuck with me. And afterwards, I started using my imagination. Because when, as kids, you always use your imagination. But when you become an adult, you tend to lose that ability. And so my thing was, whenever I found myself in a bit of a quandary, I would use my imagination. Okay. And so it helped me get out of whatever situation. And I started to manifest what I wanted to do. Wow. So I knew that I was equipped with being able to be fit and teach people how to work out. Okay. And also I've been meditating for some time as well, and after that I enjoy public speaking. I can do it all day long, and also so I would involve myself in these subjects, and I would practice makes perfect. Okay. And so I just continue to keep practicing and practicing and practicing until I became who I am now.
So with this imagination, were you one day meditating and this thought or this idea for this wonderful book drop into your spirit?
It came to me in my dreams.
Okay, talk
Yeah.
to us about that.
Well, it actually started from the name of the series. Well, the series of my book that I've just written is called
Okay.
Danny Yukon and the Secrets of the Amazing Lamp, and the name of the series is Imagine I'm a Genie, and it's a word play on the word imagine.
Yes, I saw that. Very
And
nice.
so the word imagine, the way you spell it is IMAGINE, and so I inserted an apostrophe behind the I,
Okay.
and then I dissected the rest of the word. So I'm a G-I-N.
I'm a genie.
Imagine I'm a genie.
I like that. Okay. So why children's books? So tell us a little bit about this character, Danny. Is that you in your dreams? Or?
Danny is a spinoff from me.
Okay.
Danny. My last name is Daniels, and Danny Yukon. Danny Yukon is a euphemism as Danny You Can, or you can insert your own name there.
Okay.
And you can. And the Secrets of the Amazing Lamp. I have a co-writer. Her name is Pamela Hill Nettleton.
Okay.
And she's also did an exceptional and wonderful job as well as the illustrator, Miss Liza Biggers. And so the reason why I decided to write this book, or where the inspiration came from, was because I'm a kid at heart myself.
Okay.
And I love kids. And kids are just like Earth, Wind, and Fire say. They're born with a heart of gold.
Okay.
And as they grow, the world makes their heart cold. So I feel that the more you meditate, the more pure you become.
Wow.
And so the most purest form that you've encountered was when you were a child. And so if you continue to keep meditating, you become more and more familiar with whom you were.
Oh, wow. So is it safe to say that Danny is basically, can this book teach us how to meditate, or teach a child how to meditate?
Most definitely.
Okay,
Most
so
definitely.
at what age should you start meditating? Because we actually had a meditation fitness instructor on here maybe 2 weeks ago, who talked about how meditation is about bringing you aware of your thoughts.
Correct.
So when it comes to a child being aware of their thoughts, come on, we talk about imagination.
Correct.
They imagine going to the moon and back.
Correct.
So how do we take them to this process of meditation?
Well, a kid can start meditating at the age of 5, and they can meditate for 5 minutes, or they can meditate their age.
Okay.
And that's the best. That's one. And how do I teach kids meditation?
Yes.
Well, I teach guided meditation for kids, and whenever they become older, I actually teach them a breathing technique.
Okay, can I be honest with you?
Yes.
Meditation for adults
Uh-huh.
is difficult. So how on earth do you teach guided meditation to a classroom of 5-year-olds?
Easy.
What do you do? Like, tell us, like, the actual process, because that's very interesting. I think it would be awesome. I know Nikhol, us introducing this to our kids would be amazing, but I just don't see my little 7-year-old sitting down wanting to meditate, but I know the importance of it.
Correct. Well, you were a kid once before, right?
I'm a kid at heart too.
And you're a kid at heart, but you had to match their energy first and foremost.
Okay.
I mean, because kids have this immense type of energy that you have to match each and every day. And once you match that energy, then you can sit them down and you can calm them down.
Okay.
Because they learn by visualization.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever they see you doing something that's actually honest, truthful,
Okay.
they follow.
Okay.
Kids can recognize or feel the truth or
Yes.
realness. Exactly.
I believe that. So
Yeah.
once you match their energy, what's the
Once-
next step?
The next step is now close your eyes.
All right.
And then after you do that, you take a deep inhalation through the nose.
Okay. And actually,
And-
I saw, if you don't mind me sharing, PJ,
don't.
he was actually, I think meditation is a part of your everyday life. It has to be.
It is.
Every moment.
It really
as he
is.
was sitting here preparing for the segment, he was in meditation. I had to stop myself from actually interrupting you, but I think that's amazing because it lets me know the importance of always being centered.
Correct.
And getting back to, I guess, who you are and identifying with who you are.
Correct. Correct. Well, you don't want anything to be overwhelming for you.
Okay.
You want to be able to be comfortable in every situation.
Okay.
And no matter if sweat is falling from your face, you're still cool,
It's the French
calm,
fry
and
lights. I
collective.
told you, the French fry lights.
Exactly. But you're cool, calm, and collective. And this is not my first rodeo, and I've done this several times, as
Right.
well as you have. And
Right.
so there should not be anything that flusters us. We should be able to do this organically. And
I like
whenever
that.
you do meditate, you center yourself.
Okay.
The breathing part is the breathing part for meditation is
There you
Is-
go. See,
is
ask
the-
and you shall receive.
Oh my goodness. and no, thank you so much. So the main thing is just breathing, being able to breathe. Come back to your senses.
Okay.
Because whenever you're flustered,
Yes,
you
I know
cannot
that feeling.
think clearly.
that's true.
So the main thing is to calm yourself down.
So for that adult that's
Yes.
out there right now, that's
Uh-huh.
a child at heart, who wants to know how to start incorporating meditation in their life and maybe even bring their children along, what would you suggest they do? What can they do? Give them some tips.
Well, one, start off by drinking more water.
Huh.
Okay. Water is the number one thing that we need to
Wow.
incorporate into our lives more. And there's so many options. When there's so many options, you got juice, you got sodas, you have gin and juice, all types of juice. But honestly, water.
Drink more water.
Drink more
okay.
water.
First,
Get
drink
more.
water.
Yeah, get more sleep, and become more in tune with whom you are, with yourself. We do a great job of criticizing other people and judging other
Yeah.
people, because we can people watch all day long.
Wow.
But imagine when you close your eyes and you start to watch yourself and you start to judge yourself. All the judgment that you have with others or about others,
Right.
it disappears.
Wow.
It disappears because you start to understand that you are judging yourself. And once you stop being so judgmental of yourself, then you stop judging others as well. So the one thing I would tell parents that want to get involved and they feel that meditation is too much, take at least 2 minutes out of your day and just relax.
Yeah.
Just be with yourself for 2 days. I mean, for 2 minutes. I'm sorry, for 2 minutes. Just be with yourself,
That's it.
and that's it. That's all that I ask, and that's all that's required from you.
It's kind of hard with a parent with lots of kids that go everywhere they go. The restroom is
Well,
not even
I-
a place of
You know what?
refuge.
Actually, the restroom is whenever you have quiet time in the shower.
Oh,
All right. So
That's good.
whenever you're in the shower, bring yourself to that present moment.
okay.
Okay. And that present moment
That's
is
good.
speak to yourself. All right. What's going on right now? The water is hitting my body. Is it cold? Is it warm? Is it hot?
Bringing you aware
And
of where
bringing
you
you
are.
aware of where you are at that moment in time.
That's good.
And that's when you get a chance to just think clearly.
Yes.
You can do whatever you want to do. You can think about whatever. Even all your greatest ideas, they come to you in the shower.
Absolutely.
So
Well, I'm definitely going to take that advice from you when I take my next shower. But what I want to do right now is let everybody know why you're in town. Why are you back in Atlanta? And tell us what's coming up this weekend.
what's coming up this weekend? I have a workshop with one of my best friends, Calvin Johnson. He's down here promoting his foundation for inner city kids from Detroit and Atlanta, and funding scholarships as well. So I'll be here promoting that workshop, and also I will be promoting my book, Danny
Yes.
Yukon and the Secrets of the Amazing Lamp. And also I am here on this show.
Yes,
which
you are.
and just spreading my love and giving it back, because I started here at Georgia Tech. And this is where I received all the support from all of the fans, my family and friends. And I just want to continue to keep giving back, because that's what's in my heart.
Beautiful. How can we find you on social media?
You can follow me on Instagram, on IG.
IG.
The Prince of _fit. And you can find me on Facebook at Prince Daniels Jr. And it's that IG, or you can go to my website and find all of my IG information, which is www.princedanielsjr.com or theamazinglamp.com.
Love it. Do you have any final words?
I do. Please get involved with this book and this movement, because this is something that comes that I exude from my heart.
Yes.
Yeah, and with every breath that I take, it's love.
Absolutely.
And I'm also doing a BOGO campaign where you buy one, you give one to a kid that's less fortunate,
Okay.
either in this country or the other 6 continents.
Yes.
And the reason why is because I want to take this on a global scale. So,
Hold the book up so you can see it. There you go.
I'm sorry.
This is it right here.
Yeah. So,
Danny Yukon and the Secrets
Of
of
the
the Amazing Lamp. Well, thank you so much, PJ. We appreciate you. I felt your energy, great energy during the interview. Thank you so much for all that you do, and we look forward to seeing Danny in the series. somewhere soon. Y'all gonna get it for the kids, Nicole? What's up?
Yes, ma'am. We sure will. And we're going to practice it. I'm going to start off with the shower.
Yes.
Thank you so much, PJ and LB, for the Mind, Body, and Spirit segment. We did have the instructor on a few weeks ago when we talked about the importance of meditation. And I love hearing some other people's experiences and advice on how we can implement it into our lives on a day-to-day basis. And so we've come to the part of the show where we're going to have another opportunity to meet our awesome talent for tonight. But before we get to Mr. Homer Mack, it seems as though we have a caller. Caller, thank you for calling. Give us your name and where you're calling from.
This is Christina Fuller from New York.
Christina Fuller from New York. Hello and welcome to the Nicole B. Jackson Show.
I had a question for PJ. I wanted to know the age range for his book and also ask him if he had children as well.
Okay. He's going to come right back and give you that answer to that question. She wants to know the age range for your book, PJ. What are the age ranges for your book? 3rd grade. You can grab the mic.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. The age range for my book is for 3rd grade and up, but it's applicable for all kids, adults, everyone.
Okay, 3rd grade and up, and it's applicable for all ages. And so I definitely think that it's something that we can look into for other types of activities and programs. You know, if you run or operate any type of after-school program or extracurricular activities for children, it's something to definitely look into to offer to your students. Thank you so much for that question and that caller from New York. And so, again, we are at the portion of the show where we're going to bring Mr. Homer Mack, our awesome artist that blessed us with the Mercy of Love at the top of the hour. Homer, take us away.
All right, the title of this song is When People Fall Out of Love.
Oh yeah, oh baby, it's a sad thing. Alright, alright, alright. Where you been? Where you going? What time are you coming home? When people fall out of love, where you going? What time you coming home? When people fall out of love, yeah. Oh baby, when people fall out of love, I know it hurts, yeah, yeah, yeah. Consequences, situations change. Love at first sight, a love can cause pain. Everyone who's anyone has cried at one time, but love don't mind, no, 'cause love ain't blind. If the thing is only physical and never ever mental, you can bet your bottom dollar that true love will never last if you don't ever take the time and tell them how you're really feeling. And I bet you don't act the same when you're with your girls and boys, and you're probably keeping secrets, man. Hurry up, communicate, and pray it's not too late, and hope that they understand. Yeah, 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 yeah. Alright, when people fall out of love, yeah, it's a sad thing. When people fall out of love, oh baby, when people fall out of love, I know it hurts, yeah. Yeah, now usually it's harder on one than it is the other. When the hurting starts, yeah, the hurt one starts to wonder, why was I not good enough, and who will come to take my place? Am I truly the one to blame? What will I tell my mother? What will I tell my children? 'Cause everybody feels this pain. If that thing is only physical and never ever mental, you can bet your bottom dollar that true love will never last if you don't ever take the time and tell them how you really feeling. And I bet you don't act the same when you with your girls and boys, and you probably keeping secrets, man. Hurry up, communicate, and pray it's not too late, and hope that they understand, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Ooh, yeah. When people fall out of love, it's a sad thing. When people fall out of love, oh, baby, baby.
I wrote a poem about this topic, and I want to share it with you. It goes like this. You want to believe in love and all its magical powers. You want to make love in garden tubs and April showers. You want to kick back, relax, and do the love thing. You didn't want all the heartache, the hurt and pain. When people fall out of love, it's just a shame. Nobody's safe when playing in this love game. Calling people nasty names, lying, cheating, who's to blame? Lie to her, lie to him. Well, okay, it's all the same. I think you need to take it back. All those things you said, in fact, think about your family and all the things you do impact. Is it really worth all that? Now you being selfish. Getting stressed out like that really ain't the healthiest. Now, okay, tell me this. What do you think the problem is? Well, you should have thought of that before you had that other kid. Well, it is what it is. Can't take back some things you did. It's really messed up when people fall out of love. Out of love. Out of love. Out of love.
When people fall out of love. When people fall out of love, yeah. Oh, baby. When people fall out of love, I know it hurts, yeah, yeah. Where you been? Where you going? What time you coming home? Oh, yeah. Where you been? Where you going? What time you coming home? See where you been? Where you going? What time you coming home? Oh, no, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Both of those songs, The Mercy of Love and When People Fall Out of Love. Now, I heard you say when you opened up that you wrote that song, The Mercy of Love. Did you write both of them?
I wrote both of the songs, and I also produced the music as well.
Wow. So
in
that's
my home studio. Yep.
double threat. Writers and a artist singing. Wow. So tell the viewers out there where they can find out more information about Homer Mack and all of the other awesome things you've got going on, and possibly get copies of your music.
Okay. Well, Mercy of Love is the title of the album, and it's presently on iTunes, and you can do a search for Mercy of Love and Homer, Homer, Mack, pronounced Mac, but it's MC. So if you do a search, you can find that album with that song on it, with other songs, 10 or 11 songs on that particular album. And I'm from Atlanta, and I am an IT professional, but I love to sing, and I also love computers. So I do balance and
Triple
find time
threat.
to do that. I'm a husband and a father of 3, and I have my 9 to 5 in the IT professional world. So, it's a challenge, but, like PJ was saying, you got to find what you love doing, and,
Yes.
What
makes you happy.
Exactly.
Well, thank you so much for joining us here at the show. We will definitely have you back. Guys, make sure you visit Homer Mack's site and purchase his CDs, his album, and get in contact with him if you are looking for someone to sing at your engagement or anything like that, because I heard that that's what you do as well, too, right? Perform.
I do, but I'm an event promoter.
Okay.
And we have karaoke, which is fun, every Tuesday night.
I think that's the 5th thing that you said you do.
I do it all. Yes.
At Boogaloo on Tuesday nights. And what time?
On Ponce de Leon, from 7. It starts at 7, but it goes all night.
All right. Well, thank you again for being here. I appreciate it. We're going to head back up to the stage and wrap up our fresh starts and new beginnings from the financial perspective. Again, our guests tonight, we had Ted Jackson and Miss Chinyere Norman, and we are also joined now by Prince, right? Prince. And we're going to get some final questions, Q&A, about this financial piece. And you talked a little bit about money down there at the Mind, Body, and Spirit segment with LB, and about finding something that you can do that not only you enjoy and it makes you happy, but you can also make some money, because we do need money to live. And so a couple quick questions before we wrap up. We know that we need to get a budget. We need to look at what's coming in and what's going out and figure out ways to cut down the debt to get financially stable. How are there any other things that we can do in regards to all of that stuff to not only make money but save money, but also enjoy life? Because sometimes when we look at the bills and the debt, it gets to be really cumbersome, and we sometimes lose hope. And we are not able to actually enjoy life when we're trying to save or, pay bills off. How can we do all that and still have fun and enjoy life? What are some ways and strategies, Ms. Norman, that we can go about doing that?
That's an excellent question, because just like you said, most people think either I have to save money and live this kind of drab life, or I spend it all and I won't have anything later on. And I think I can speak for Ted as well. We have somewhat of a similar orientation when it comes to showing people how to live well and to leave a legacy. And what that means is we introduce people to financial strategies that they're not really pumped up in the media. You won't see any
like
commercials.
Like what? They're not the norm.
They're not the norm.
Okay.
The way I learned about these strategies, it was not from going into the bank or listening to the financial entertainers, if you will. It was actually somebody tapping me on my shoulder and saying, hey, you're making a lot of money. And even though I was in this industry already, that just tells you, I still didn't know that there were strategies that you could implement where you're able to basically protect your principal. So protect your money, first of all. Secondly, be able to use your money as collateral. And that's where you find out how to do both things, how to save money and also spend it. You really learn how to become your own bank. And so by me saying that, for for that's not something that you're going to hear, on the television.
Become your own bank?
Exactly. Exactly. So
definitely.
Yeah. So that's one of the main things. That's one of the pillars of what we do as far as wealth building. You have to show people how to do both things, because it's really tough when you think about it. If you're going to save everything and watch everybody else around you just live it up and, spend money, have a good time, that does a lot to a person's psyche. I think very few people can really just save and live.
And sacrifice for 365 days to the utmost level.
Absolutely.
That can be very, I guess, lonely, isolating, hard. PJ's not in. Prince, I'm sorry, is not. And he's like, yes.
Right.
Yes.
And if you think about it, I mean, in some cultures and in some countries, it's a given. That's how we live. We live a basic lifestyle where you may be more in tune with yourself and, nature, things of that nature. We just don't live in that society here in this country.
That's correct.
We're promoting make money and spend money, which is very different than growing wealth. And so that's the orientation that we come from. I know earlier, Ted, you said something about safe money. And so that's what we call safe money, when you're able to collateralize and do both things.
And do both. Save and enjoy. And so part of that is sitting down with someone like Ted or yourself, Ms. Norman, and trying to work through all of that. And Prince, with you going from being a student to a professional athlete and now to an entrepreneur, did you have to, at some point in your career, sit down with someone as a financial strategist and look at what's going in and what's coming out and figure out how to enjoy and also create wealth?
Most definitely. I had to make an adjustment from actually being on a all-time high, making a copious amount of money.
Copious.
And to making a little bit of anything.
Yeah.
Even though I made sound investments, I still had to adjust. I still had to learn about
how you can make your money work for you.
Right.
And
Not only that, how long you can make it last.
Hi-
The same thing
exactly.
a lot of people are going to go through when they get to the point of retirement. So
Correct.
you went there a little bit earlier.
I went there a little bit early, and I took a lot of blows, man. But it's about how many blows can you take and continue to keep learning, and that's the most important thing about life. We're constantly learning, and so you have to remember what you learn and apply it. And the minute you learn something new, apply it immediately.
To the next phase and keep going.
Keep going.
So that leads me to my last question. Advice. We know we got to do a budget. We got to take a look at all this stuff and try to figure out how to make it work. For people out there who are watching and they want to begin their fresh start financially, what's one piece of advice for everyone that you would give them to get going? Ted, we'll start with you.
For me, the one main piece of advice that I would give everybody is the willingness to unlearn what you think you already know.
Unlearn what you think you already know.
The amazing thing is we only know what we know, whether we were taught it by our parents, whether we saw it and we saw what our mother was doing, our dad did with finances, and we decided we're going to do the same thing.
Okay.
Whether we did it on our own, it was by trial and error. We learned through that manner, and what we don't know, we don't know. And a lot of times we stick to what we think we know. And when someone brings something to us that's a little bit different, a little bit outside of the box, a little bit out of the norm, it's a hard time for them to actually internalize and say, you know what, I can actually utilize this strategy. Where they make, well, I've never heard of this. But if you've never heard of it, doesn't mean that it's not real.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So
exactly.
the willingness to unlearn what you think you already know. Be open to information.
Okay. Being open to it. I love that. I love that. Miss Norman, what's your piece of advice?
Now that was awesome. That's some of the best advice. That advice really worked for me. But on top of that, I would say to be honest with yourself.
Wow.
You really have to be honest with yourself and look at what's going on in your world and not everyone else's. And like I said, that's awesome. But after that, after you unlearn everything, you got to be honest, because if you're not going to be honest, you're going to go back to exactly what you were doing before you heard this new information.
And Dr. Phil says, well, how's that working for you?
Exactly. How's that working for you? One more thing I will say that I think that a financial strategist is someone I know that is very different from a traditional advisor. So I would say that seek out someone who is willing to create a strategy for you.
Okay.
And
such as,
I'm gonna piggyback just a little bit on there. Why a strategy?
Okay.
We're gonna let's say Tiger Woods, right? He uses some golf clubs, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what type of golf clubs Tiger Woods uses. I'll never be able to beat him in golf because of how he already has gotten his swing down, and it's the same swing, right? So it doesn't matter what avenues we're using. It's a strategy that we're actually teaching.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So what other people are teaching may not be the same, but we're teaching a strategy on how to get to the same place. So
Awesome. So strategies, unlearning what you think you've learned, being honest with yourself.
And last but not least, get organized.
Yes. Oh, you know I like that.
Get
I'm type A.
organized.
Get organized. Get organized. Definitely. Well, guys, I appreciate each and every one of you for being here tonight. We appreciate Ted, Chinyere Norman, Ted Jackson, Chinyere Norman, Mr. Prince PJ Daniels. We appreciate our Mind, Body, and Spirit host, Lakia Brandenburg. And guys, as I always say in parting, remember that it doesn't matter what you've been through. It doesn't matter what you're going through. It doesn't matter what you go through in the future. Trust, know, and believe that your healing is just a journey away. Your fresh start and new beginning begins today. Special shout out to Homer Mack, our special artist for tonight. Be sure to look him up and purchase his information. Thank you. See you next week.